Gia Ford is crafting stories out of other people's lives and embracing a new classic Americana sound, and is emerging as a unique and timeless artist who has just released her new single Poolside via Chrysalis Records. Recorded in LA, it is the renowned Sound City Studios with legendary producer Tony Berg of Phoebe Bridgers. Poolside demonstrates how Gia is able to craft songs like no other artist of her generation. And Gia Ford joins me now. How are you doing, Gia?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you very much. It's such a privilege to have you on the show because after hearing your single Poolside, I thought we're going to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it.
Absolutely love it. Now, for listeners who are new to your music, could you tell us when you started writing and performing?
I started writing when I was very young. I think I wrote my first song when I was about 10. It was awful, obviously, as you can imagine. But and then performing was a bit later. I think I was about 18 when I did a bit of the London open mic night circuit.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did that go down? What kind of songs were you singing there?
I had like a collection of a few covers and then a few of my own songs at the time. Seem to recall an Electric Light Orchestra cover. I think I can't remember the song that I did. And then I did a David Gray cover, and then I had a few of my own little songs as well. But it was fun. It
sounds excellent. A very eclectic mix there, going from the Electric Light Orchestra.
I know.
I wish I could remember which one that was. What song it was.
Oh, it was
Was it Don't Walk Away or something like that?
No, it was. I'll be able to tell you if I go on my iTunes and just search it up. I keep wanting to say "Don't Bring Me Down," but it's not. It's definitely not that song.
It wasn't the Diary of Horace Wim.
No, absolutely not.
Which is it? Can you imagine it?
No, actually.
Excellent. Anyway, we may come back to that later. You may remember. Now, do you find it easy to write music?
No, I don't. I find it very difficult. I think I'm yet to find the state of time of my life where I can access that creative flow state more often. And I think it comes with a lot of peace and quiet. And I guess that's the privilege of, when you hear about bands or artists, renting a house out somewhere and like cutting themselves off for a month.
That's right, remotely writing, as it were. Yeah, get a remote cottage somewhere or something, or some kind of location to get inspiration.
Yeah, that's my idea of the perfect writing environment. I find it very difficult to. I'm very picky with songs. I'm very picky with lyrics, so it takes me a while. But I think I'm becoming okay with that. I think that's fine, isn't it? You don't have to be writing 10 songs a day.
Of course not. Well, you don't want to have burnout kind of thing, because a lot of artists will write stuff and they have burnout, and then you don't actually see them for quite a while, and then they'll come out with a batch of music. I think it is really good if you're able to, do a little bit at a time and not rush everything out, because a lot of artists as well, they release loads and loads of music, and like I say, they do disappear, and maybe little and often is the best bet.
I think it's the thing that works for me, and it allows me to kind of expand on stories or concepts that I have the beginnings of. So I'm happy with the way that I do it for now.
And it does come across great as well, your music. Now, who are your major influences in music?
As you can imagine, it's quite eclectic from my open mic night.
Yes.
Kate Bush is probably my favourite artist of all time, even though I don't think that comes through very much in my own music. But her storytelling is incredible. Radiohead, David Bowie, PJ Harvey, lots of people, Carpenters even. It kind of goes from many. I think the Carpenters is more at the moment, it's sort of like a vocal style Karen Carpenter thing. I have always thought that her voice was so timeless, and that might come through a bit more. but then, yeah, even Portishead, Massive Attack, that kind of thing as well. So it's very eclectic.
Yes, and your voice, when I heard your vocal on your current single Poolside, it reminded me of somebody that I've interviewed a while ago, and I can't remember her name for this moment in time. But our album is lying around here somewhere. Oh, what was she called? We'll come back to that in any case. But yes, but it's a lovely, you've got a lovely voice there, and it really goes well with the, your style of music.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely love it. Now, what was it like being signed to Dirty Hit Records in 2020 after just them seeing a 60-second vocal of you? Was it on Instagram?
No, I think I signed with them, if I can remember correctly, maybe like 2017 or 2018.
Right.
I wasn't actively pursuing music. I was just putting my stuff up that I'd done on SoundCloud, and my then manager found that somehow. I still don't really understand how he managed to do that, but yeah. So it was just it was meant to be sort of like a what's that song? The only thing I can remember is that JLS sampled this song.
Right.
You remember? It was oh god. Obviously, neither of us can remember anything today. But anyway,
it's one of those days, isn't it?
Yeah. It was meant to be a kind of very stripped back sort of vocodery demo, and so it was pretty much just vocals. But yeah, so they signed me off that.
And what was it like when getting that surprise? Did you get a surprise email saying, Dirty Hit are interested in your music?
No, I had my manager at the time, and he we'd been working together for a few months, but he had hustled quite a lot. I didn't really have any material, or very little material, maybe like 2 or 3 songs, and he said that they'd be interested in doing like a single deal with me, basically. So that was just like ridiculous. I was so excited about it at the time. Yeah, it was really surprising, but cool. Yeah,
very cool. Now, your singles Alligator and Falling in Love Again have received critical acclaim from Rolling Stone UK, DIY, NME, Clash, Dork, The Lion of Best Fit, and of course BBC Six Music. And you've been tipped as a one to watch for 2024 by The Independent, The Sun, Record of the Day, and Celeb Mix, and featured as an Artist of the Week by Ticketmaster. What is it like having recognition after you spent years honing your craft and your style?
It's really great. It is really great to see that people understand it and see it going somewhere. And hopefully the more that I release, they keep understanding. There's a lot more to show. I've got a lot more music to follow. So I'm just hoping that all of that goes down as well as this one has.
Because it took quite a couple of years for you in order to get your style together and such like. So do you think I think you've got the right recipe now for success?
Hopefully, yeah, that's what you always hope, I guess. Yeah, it has changed a lot. I think when I released my early stuff, it was very, very different. But this stuff does feel different. It feels like it feels subconsciously like I've slipped into the right sort of area. So that's good. Yeah.
You have, and it's just come to my mind who it was that your voice reminds me of, and it's actually Annie Lennox's daughter, Lola Lennox.
I didn't know she sang.
Yes, and I've had her on the show as well, and she released an EP about a year ago, and when I heard your vocal, I was going, who is it that she reminds me of? And your style is obviously completely different, but it's a beautiful voice.
I shall listen, because I didn't know. I love Annie Lennox.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that her daughter, and Lola Lennox is just an amazing name, isn't it?
Isn't it? Yes.
And
she's got a lovely single off her EP. It's called Hourglass. It's very eerie, but it's a beautiful song. So you'll have to look it up there. I can't remember the name of her EP, but it's Lola Lennox EP. If you search for that, then you can hear it. But you'll go, is that me?
Will I? Okay. That's a cool connection. Yeah.
It's a good connection, yes. Maybe it is. Maybe you'll have to do a duet with her one day. You never know.
Who knows? Yeah, maybe it'll be perfect coupling.
Could be a perfect fit. Now, your brand new single, Poolside, is a fabulous single, as I've said. Now, could you tell us the inspiration behind the track?
Yeah, so I wrote it maybe 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, something like that. And I was looking for inspiration that day because I didn't have anything in my head. So I picked up a photo book that was in Emily's house that I wrote it with. And it was just loads of 60s LA. It was like bird's eye view of 60s LA and people's sort of pools going down the hill.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit obsessed with the underbelly, like kind of the underbelly of society and things happening under the surface of things that seem, especially things that seem perfect. And so I imagined a pool boy that was kind of developing a lot of anger towards the people that he worked with because he felt invisible to them.
Right.
So that's the story, is that it's kind of his internal monologue when it comes to his life, just being ignored by everyone around him in that environment.
Right. Yes, we get that.
Yes.
Yeah, we certainly do. Now, the vinyl revival is upon us. So what is your favourite record that you've ever bought and why?
It'd probably be The Kick Inside by Kate Bush, which I didn't actually buy myself. My mum just gave me her vinyl. But I just think that's the most perfect album ever of all time. I just think it's so theatrical and so daring and unlike anything else that came before it or after it. So that's my number one.
And what's your favourite track off the album, would you say?
A saxophone song, maybe.
Right.
They're all great though, but saxophone song's the one that I go back to. Or L'amour looks something like you. That's just beautiful, the whole thing. She's just one of a kind, Kate Bush. I really, really love her.
She certainly is. She's great.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to be kicking off summer 2024 in great style, playing at Brighton's The Great Escape Festival in May, and following your spotlight as one of the Great Escape's first 50. Could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I did a show. I think the first 50 is sort of like a build up to the actual festival, and there's a few shows that is related to that, but it's oh, sorry about that.
Oh, you're back.
I'm back. It's the first 50 artists that they book, and we get a bit of a spotlight, which is incredible. I'm so pleased about that. I played a gig as part of that at Paper Dress Vintage in London about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago now. So yeah, and I get to play The Great Escape in May. So that's brilliant. Very excited.
It sounds like it's going to be excellent, and it's a perfect time for a festival because it's going to be nice and warm, hopefully. And you know,
oh, who knows?
What was that? Sorry.
Who knows in this country whether it'll be warm or not?
Well, exactly. Yes, it's like living in the North Pole at the minute. But there you go. Well, that's maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but it feels like that in any case when you get that cold wind.
Yeah.
Now, please, can you tell us where we can get tickets for your gigs, and also how we can follow you?
I think tickets. A lot of my tickets will come up on Spotify in the events tab, and I share. It'll be all in my Instagram link in bio. Everything's available in there. Ticketmaster, of course. And you can follow me on Instagram. It's Gia__Ford. And it's the same across all socials. Twitter, TikTok is Gia Ford. So yeah.
And you've got your website there, which is very plain. It's got the links on straight away. And
yes. It's giaford.co.uk, I think, if I'm not wrong.
It certainly is. I just looked at that before. I was going, let's have a look and find out what Gia's up to. And it had all your links on there. So people are able, it means you don't have to really maintain the site, because people can click on the links and they can find out what you're up to.
Brilliant.
And it makes perfect sense.
It does. And then I don't have to remember anything.
Exactly. It's fab. It's a very good idea. Everyone should do that. Too much jargon all over the place. Just get the links on there. Fabulous. Now, finally, please can you introduce your latest single, Poolside?
Is this for you playing it for the show?
Yeah, you're just announcing it now.
Okay. I am Gia Ford, and this is my new single, Poolside.
Excellent. Well, Gia Ford, thank you so much for joining me on the show, and all the best with the tour. And it'd be great to have you again on the show.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.